Chrysler redesigned its mainstream front-wheel drive full-size sedan for 1998, getting rid of the conservative design and adopting a more dramatic appearance. Similar to Chrysler's 300M and LHS, the Concorde was also closely related under the skin to the Dodge Intrepid. In this episode, we're going to take a closer look at the second-generation Chrysler Concorde, a domestic full-size sedan that offers style and class. So grab a brisk iced tea, kick back, and let's get down to the nitty-gritty. The LH platform served as the basis for several sedans, and it was the platform that began the whole cab forward design theme, which was featured on some Chrysler, Dodge, and Eagle products. The cab forward design pushed the wheels out to the corners of the car and made the engine compartment just large enough for the engine. This allowed the car to have substantial interior space. Cars built on the first version of the LH platform were the 93 to 97 Dodge Intrepid, the sporty 93 to 97 Eagle Vision, and the 93 to 97 Chrysler Concorde. The most popular LH car was the Dodge Intrepid, which was the least priciest out of the group. The sporty Eagle Vision had a more aggressive appearance and targeted European sedans. The Chrysler Concorde was a bit more conservative and more in line with the luxury image. Later on for 1994, the final generation of the Chrysler New Yorker would be built on the LH platform. There will also be another model known as the Chrysler LHS. The auto manufacturer came close to giving Plymouth its own variant of the LH platform, which was reported to have the name Plymouth Accolade. However, the execs decided to scrap these plans, and the Accolade never made it into production. 1996, Chrysler unveiled a concept vehicle which provided insight into future styling and design approaches. Known as the LHX, insiders mentioned the concept possessed a good deal of aesthetic and mechanical character, and they were positive most of it would transfer from concept to production car. Overall, the design language of the LHX did not retain any styling cues from the first generation Concorde. There was a large, modernized front grille, flanked by tri-element ellipsoid beam headlamps, a steeply raked windshield and back glass, and a nicely sculpted rear deck lid. Under the hood of the LHX was a 3.5-liter 24-valve V6, which was paired with an auto-stick 4-speed automatic. The result was a vehicle of striking presence and proportion. 1997. Being built at Brampton Assembly, two of the company's most popular LH cars, the Dodge Intrepid and the Chrysler Concorde, were now redesigned for the 1998 model year and arrived at dealerships in November 1997. The third model in the original lineup, the Eagle Vision, vanished from the fold since the entire Eagle division was being shut down. The design of the new Concorde was revolutionary. Whereas the 1997 Concorde had an understated front grille, the new 1998 Concorde sported a massive oversized grille. Above it sat the Chrysler division's retro winged emblem. Large kidney-shaped headlamps were like jewelry in appearance and were light years ahead of the outgoing car in terms of lighting performance. One of the most frequent complaints about the first generation LH cars was their lack of adequate lighting. The new 1998 Concorde fixed that with new quad beams, which provided brilliant illumination as well as a classy styling touch. An all-new second-generation LHS would be introduced in 1998 for the 1999 model year. The styling of the LHS drew heavily from the 1996 LHX concept. And unlike typical Chrysler sedans buyers were mostly accustomed to, the stylish all-new 300M combined luxury with a sporty twist, also making its debut in 1998 as a 1999 car. The LH platform served as the basis for all of these sedans. This new second-generation Concorde was a 31-month-long project costing an estimated $2.1 billion. But as far as the overall looks of the car were concerned, the money was well spent. Chrysler designed a full-size sedan that was both stunning and attention-getting. There were two trim levels, the LX and the LXI, both of which were differentiated by the size of the engine. But regardless of the trim level, the full-size sedan was only powered by V6 engines. There was the infamous dual overhead cam 2.7-liter V6 in the base LX sedan. The 2.7 cranked out 200 horsepower, and while acceleration with the 2.7 was adequate, this smaller V6 had to work harder to deliver the same level of performance as the larger displacement engine. But as a benefit, the 2.7 yielded great fuel efficiency for this large sedan. Speaking of larger displacement, Concordes with the upscale LXI package cranked out 225 horsepower via a single cam V6 with 3.2 liters. Both engines were paired with a 4-speed automatic. Both of these all-aluminum engines were new for 1998. Chrysler spent nearly $700 million to develop these, as well as a third engine, the 3.5-liter V6, which was revamped for the newer LH line. After the 2001 model year, Chrysler decided to drop the LHS nameplate from the lineup. The LHS would be replaced with the Concorde Limited for 2002. In terms of exterior appearance, the LHS had its own unique front fascia, which differed from the Concorde. However, the new 2002 Concorde Limited adopted the look of the LHS. So basically, the LHS was rebadged as the Concorde Limited. The execs decided to make this move as a way to streamline the brand's model lineup. That said, the 3.5-liter engine was now available on the 2002 through 2004 Concorde Limited. Similar to the first generation, 6-passenger seating with a folding bench seat, folding center armrest, and a column-mounted shifter was available. The interior was well appointed, not to mention super spacious, and trunk space was generous. The Concorde was indeed a big car. Compared to the 1997 Concorde, the wheelbase also remained at 113 inches for the new 1998 version, but the front drive chassis was extensively modified. Overall, length grew by 7.5 inches, but despite that, weight dropped by nearly 100 pounds due to the use of lighter material such as aluminum for the rear suspension, hood, and new engines. The Concorde and 300M were dropped from the lineup after 2004. The all-new rear-wheel drive Chrysler 300 based on the LX platform filled in for the Concorde and 300M in early 2004 as a 2005 car. As always, looks are subjective, but from my perspective, the second generation Concorde is beautiful. If I was going to purchase one, I would go for a 98 to 2001 since I like the look of that model better. And although the 300C was a big deal when it first came out with its V8 and rear drive, I still preferred the sleeker look of the front drive 300M. As far as the Concorde, I've owned Chrysler products in the past, and the 2.7 V6 has the potential to be problematic. So I would go for the 3.2 or even the 3.5. Let us know if you've owned or drove a second generation Chrysler Concorde. As always, thanks for coming out to the show, and we look forward to seeing you in the next episode. Until next time, this is your host Rob, and thanks for tuning in to Antique Tags.